Hey everybody, Kevin here from HumboldtCraftworks, and today what we're going to do is we're going to learn to mill like a pro. Yeah. If you're just beginning your woodworking experiences and you want to learn to mill like a pro, I'm going to show you all the tips and tricks on how to mill like a pro. How to flatten a board, straighten a board, how to properly set up your table saw and joiner so you can actually cut stuff to the right dimensions and have nice square edges. How to face joint and how to plane, all in 5 minutes. That's what we're going to do in 5 minutes. So stay tuned and here we go. All right, so the first thing we do before we mill is wax our tools. There's a video on waxing your tools over here. It's quite silly, but I'm gonna wax up all my tools before we start, make everything nice and slippery, prevents rust, and makes your life much better. So here we go. Okay, so here's today's lucky victim. It is a piece of tan oak from my neighbor's yard. And here's what we're gonna do. I'm gonna show you how crooked this piece is. And the first thing you need to ask yourself is, how long of a board do we need? Because this one's 10 feet long, and if you only need something that's 6 feet long, then cut it to 6 feet long, and you'll save yourself a huge headache and some wood. And you can see absolutely how crooked this board is. So that's the first thing we're gonna do, is figure out what we need, and we're gonna cut it off to the size we need. And then the second thing we're gonna do is I'm gonna show you how to make a straight line rip jig on the table saw. Okay, so the first thing we're gonna do is use this hunk of wood as our straight line rip jig. Nothing fancy, just a piece of poplar, but I know it's flat and I know it's straight. Number one. The second thing we're going to do is take this twisted piece and we're going to cut it down to size about 6 feet, and we're going to use the most twisted end so I can show you how this all works. Okay, we have our board here. We have our piece cut at 6 foot, and here's what we're going to do. We're going to take this crooked ass board. This side's going to go against the fence right here. This side is going to go to the outside of the board here, and all we're going to do is take this edge of this top board and bring it to the side of this piece of poplar. I'm gonna let it hang over like a 1/16 of an inch. I'm gonna take a hunk of wood scrap wood that I got out of the scrap bin. I drilled a hole in it, put an 1.5 inch screw in it, and I'm going to take this board here and just screw it in here like this. I'll show you in a second. Like that. This is for all us poor folk who don't have any clamps or anything like that. I got this board here lined up on the outside of that by about 1/8 of an inch. I'm going to take my board with a screw in it, and I'm going to do the exact same thing over here. I'm going to make sure the screws aren't sticking through the bottom. So we got this guy there, and we have this guy here, and it'll hold it in place. Look, it's just holding it in place. All right, so when we use a straight line jig, I'm going to do it without the saw first. We're going to come up against the fence, get the crap out of there first, and then all we're going to do is push it through like it's a straight piece of wood, and it will cut this curved pile of poo like nobody's business. I'm gonna raise the blade up, and you only want to go 1 tooth above. Yeah, looks pretty good. Set the saw to 4 5/8. That's what this rip board is right here. Turn on the magic button, and here we go. We're gonna rip ourselves a straight line rip a board. Straight line, ripped. There's the piece that we cut off. It's kind of wacky looking. Okay, we've straight lined our very crooked piece, but our piece is still super crooked, as you can see. So on your journey to straightening a crooked board, the first thing you do is straight line it, and then you face join it, and then we're going to join it, and then we're going to rip it, and we're going to join it again. And we're going to go over all that in 2 shakes. So this board's got a little bit of a bow to it. And what we're going to do is we're going to set the tips down, the part that's bowed. So this is bowed like this. We're going to take off the tips first. And if we can, we're going to have the grain going the right direction when we do that, which is you want the grain going down this way when it's going through the cutter head so it doesn't blow out or chip out. Let me explain how we're going to do this. All right, so when we're pushing this through, we're going to put the weight in the front as we go through, and we're just going to push it in the front only until we get most of the way off the bed. Then we're going to come from the back and we're going to slide it on through. If it's got a big arch in it, what you do is you just go until it stops, you lift the board out, put it back behind the cutter head, and you do that several times until you get to about the middle of the board, and then you shove it all the way through, and hopefully you'll get most of it. This one's not too bad, so we might make 1 or 2 passes and then try to cut the back end off. Yeah. Watch and follow. If I have to explain things, I'll do it in the video. Here we go. All right, so we're just going to do the tip first. now we're gonna go to the back. Just like that. Now we're gonna do that again. All the way to the front. Now hardly anything. Now I'm gonna push back here. And what that's doing is cutting the back and the front off, straightening this board out. I can get it on this camera over here. Oh, there's the camera. Shit. Like that. So it's getting straighter. And it's almost done, so now we're gonna do all the way through. And now it's completely flat. So this side is nice and flat now. Now we're gonna join this edge. We're gonna edge join it, because that's the only way you're gonna get a straight edge. Easy peasy, just like that. Now we're gonna go rip it. All right, so now we got our saw set to 3 1/4, which is the narrowest spot right here. So we face jointed this side, we edge jointed that side. Now we're gonna rip it to size, and then after this, we're gonna plane it, and we'll be done. There we go. Our board is flattened on this side, joined perfectly on both sides, nice and square. And we'll mic it right now, and we have 3 1/4 on the money. Squeakers. Oh, I didn't show you the joiner way. Oh, sugar. All right, now we're gonna show you how to straight line a board on the joiner. All right, so for our next trick, what we shall do is the joiner, and we're just gonna join this board here. I have it up on the joiner. You can see how crooked that is. All right, so instead of running it through 100 times, back and forth, what we're gonna do is we're gonna cut the front off, and then we're gonna cut the back off, then we're gonna just do the whole thing at once. My joiner is set at a 32nd of an inch, so it might take a minute. All right, there's the first one. Pull it up, put it back down again. All right, we're gonna do this a couple times. Look at that, it's getting farther in there. All right, now we're gonna slide it all the way to the back, and we're gonna do the same thing back here. Every time we pull it back a little farther. Way back here now. All right, now what we're gonna do is we're gonna take the whole thing and just run it through like we would a normal board. All right, I think we got it. We're gonna do one more time. Yeah, you can see right there, it's a little scant still. So one more time. I think we got it. There it is. All right, well, there you go. How to straighten a crooked board. Straight lined, edge jointed, ripped, the whole 9 yards. The only thing I didn't do is plane this board, but you know, you stick it in the planer and you're good to go. Just make sure you follow the grain direction rules. All right, this was going the right direction if you're gonna run it through the planer and the cutter heads here, because the grain direction is going up like this. All right, if it was on the joiner, you'd want it going the opposite direction, is down, which you can't really see. But anyway, there you go. Hope that helped somebody. If it did, give me the old thumbs up, and I'll see you next time right here on Woodworking with Mr. Kevin. All right, see ya. And there we go. I'm gonna throw this at you. Ooh. Oh, I missed. We'll do it again.
Subscribe now.
So I'm gonna wax up my everything. So I'm gonna wax up the, I'll see you when I get done waxing, and okay. All right, we're gonna show you how the grandpa showed me how to do the thing and make a thing and make a board for that. Just like that. It's just that simple. Hold on. It's got a bit of a problem over there. Someone forgot to hook up the hose. What a dummy.